All right then, welcome. Very excited today because we've got our first guest to our new green screen here at Optex Towers in Maidenhead, and our first guest today is John from JC Installs.
How you doing?
Welcome, John.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure. We've gone through a few products today with John, but quickly a little bit about your own journey.
So those of you that don't know us, is we're a security company, but we focus on home technology, but concentrated on the residential end of the market. And now this year really want to make a push on perimeter protection, looking after the homes and the boundaries, people's equipment, cars, and external detection in general. So yeah, we're just looking to get to know more about the product really, and as a company push that to our residential customers because we think it's important, and I think people don't think enough about protecting outside the home or the layered security approach in their home. So we just want to try and raise a bit of awareness like that and push the product, because I think Optex are the leaders in that field.
No, thank you very much. And I think you touched on it when we first met. Was about you thought it was just like a commercial application, but I'm with you completely. I think the residential market is a huge market, and you're building value for your clients and offering them something a little bit different.
That's right.
But what you need as a business owner it's hard enough to get your customers on board, but when you have sold them, is have a product that backs it up. So again, we're delighted to be working with someone of you and the people you deal with. So thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
What were your concerns, before, you think about external security? What were your concerns,
Well, one of the biggest issues that's always come up where we've done external detection on residentials, especially in London, in and around London, is the nuisance of external detectors going off, mainly by foxes. I mean, foxes have been a nuisance in general for a long time, even with cameras and stuff like that, motion detection. So going past that, I'm looking at a product that is just solid and I can sell to my customer with confidence, knowing that it's not going to be triggered falsely, and so that they can rest in the peace, knowing that when their alarm goes off, there's actually an intrusion. So that was always been the things, is not wanting to install a product that is not 100% on its detection rate. So that's really important for us.
Confident when you've sold it that when you go away it's going to work.
100%, yeah.
And then you get the buyback from the client. That's fine. We also touched on today about visual verification. I think we spoke about remote monitoring, etc. But we spoke about visual verification being a real something people really need to look at now as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, get your alarm going off is one thing, but sometimes that's not enough. Like, you can hear the noise or you might get a notification, but people really want to see what's triggered that. And just when we were going through the demo earlier, the beauty that I like with some of your products is you can get this retrofit camera, which is a standalone product essentially. So it's not even as that you need an alarm system, but you can have a standalone product with a camera that gives you verification, and it's a proper endorsed security product, not like unfortunately the market that's being
the DIY market.
Exactly that, yeah, which we're trying to steer customers away from.
Yeah, let's touch on that. I mean, there's lots of DIY products out there, and befitted by the layman, as it were. And this is, we need to educate people. This is what it's all about today: is educating people that you do need to talk to a professional, and you need to consider professional products. I mean, it's a must.
Absolutely. The thing is there's such a big push on DIY items, and there's a place for them, but thankfully, like in the market that we're in, and the homes that we're getting invited into, those type of products are just not going to stand up. So there is definitely a call for high grade, high reliability security products that are just going to work and be bulletproof, whereas this DIY market will never cross over into that 100% intrusion detection range. So there's that to be considered, when you're weighing up the security systems, external detection products versus these readily available and widely advertised security products on the market that are not not very reliable
I
generally.
think we said earlier on, it's a bit of a false economy for people, isn't it? Because it's the sort of thing you may install and it may work okay for 6 months, a year, but after that, really, you know, any ongoing servicing, any issues you may have, you put it off the wall and replace it, don't you? And
that's right.
Again, it's a false economy as well. But
that's right.
You were touching earlier on about it was called a VXI C-mod, and I'll just tell you how that does differentiate from the DIY market. For example, we spoke about, if you have an outside light and a fox goes for a walk at 3 in the morning, you may hear someone say, well, my light just keeps going off all night long. Well, it's actually doing the right thing. It's picking something up and it's triggering a light. That's what it's designed to do. So when you start looking at professional products like a VXI C-mod, for example, it's got 2 pyros in, so you have to break 2 of the pyros to get an activation. And what you've also got on top of that is a camera which is linked to the cloud, linked to your phone, and then you're getting that visual verification. So you're getting a rock steady external PIR, and you're also getting notification and feedback from what's happening outside. So again, what you're guarding against is people actually going outside and dealing with any situations.
Yeah.
And we touched on this earlier on as well, about it's sometimes not always about the articles in the house, the watches, the cars, bits and pieces. It's all about people, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's about protecting your home. Essentially, your home is your most valuable asset, and the way I think about it, or try and pitch it to the customers, is as many obstacles or deterrents or layers of security that you can cause to create a distraction for an intruder. You're going to benefit from that hugely. And it's just something to think about. The older forms of technology for intrusion was a PIR in the house, by which time if someone was to break in, they've already caused damage to your window and they're already standing in your living room.
Yeah.
So it's about thinking about protecting your windows and doors with a system that you can arm whilst you're in the house,
yeah,
which is really important for a lot of our customers where they have partners that are away or travel and they're in the home by themselves. You can arm it, walk freely in the house, and also with this form of detection, it's going to trigger at the first point of an intrusion. So there's no damage done to your property, which can weigh up into the thousands, because you get just pure vandalism sometimes on a intrusion. It's not so much about stealing, it's just about causing a bloody nuisance, essentially.
Hassle, yeah.
Exactly, and then it's the cost of that and stuff like that. So yeah, we're just trying to bring customers' attention to thinking outside of the home, and detecting an intruder at the first point of entry to the property.
So you're getting asked for that, are you, or is this something you're bringing to people?
Well, to be honest, most customers, when they approach us, they're thinking, oh yeah, we want, CCTV and an alarm system, but they're all still thinking about conventional methods. Even like the shock detector on a window, customers don't know enough about the benefits of having something like that on your home. But then why not, with the likes of Optex, take it one step further, and you can actually prevent someone even coming to your window. So you've got like a boundary where it can trigger, and with the technology that you guys are using, it's also going to be animal tolerant, so it won't trigger for you won't get nuisance triggers and stuff like that. And I think that's a huge benefit. And peace of mind. Peace of mind is what we're trying to bring to customers.
That's what it's selling, isn't it?
It's massively peace of mind. So just rest in your home. After the last person comes in, you can lock your front door, you can arm your boundary and just be free. I mean, because unfortunately, we have been called to some incidences where these larger than average homes, we've had people attempt to break in the daytime, and because the home is of a certain size, the owners will be in one portion, and we've had break-ins whilst the people have actually been in the home. So protecting your boundary kind of rules out that type of incident happening potentially, and that's what we're looking at.
That's what you sell as peace of mind, yeah?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It goes above price then, doesn't it?
Exactly.
I mean, that's it. We've gone through a demo today, an overview of the products, and again, we've gone through anything. Internal range we've already got covered, but externally, for example, we've got a short range 5-metre curtain detector, wired, wire-free, or PoE if required. right up to the radar systems, didn't we? So we are talking about anything from a standard house right up to an estate, anything like that at all. So again, I've said to you, you can say yes to every application here. We will have it covered, but you've got absolutely the right attitude here. We want to keep people who've got their cars, their bikes, golf clubs, these things. Even if it's just the kids playing in the garden, you just want to keep an eye, when people are around.
That's it.
That's what you're selling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just peace of mind, essentially, knowing that your home is protected and that you don't have to worry about protecting each component of your actual bricks and mortar property. It's about protecting the boundary and the entrance to it. So yeah, it's peace of mind knowing that you're going to be safe in the house, and with different layers, you can create that peace of mind.
Lovely stuff. So as I say, the clientele you speak to, they ask for this equipment, or again, they need to be educated a bit by someone like you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now, to be honest, I've been pushing perimeter protection for some time, but I really want to make a push on it this year, being that customers don't know enough about it. And I think even security companies might be responsible because of the kind of little bit of a grey area about the response that you can get to an external detector. But I mean, I know a lot of companies that are still using it and pushing it, but I think where the residential market's concerned, I think that maybe some security companies should start to offer that as a product, even as a standalone. So forget the house, forget the actual house building, as a standalone security system, protecting the boundary, so you can create that layer of security for your customer, for their cars, their expensive cars that might be parked down the driveway, for their golf buggy, or whatever that you're looking at that might be away from the property, motorbike collection or whatever it is like that. Just that layer of security away from the house. And it's also, I mean, from a business perspective, it's a good upsell. But it is the best way to protect the customer's property.
We discussed earlier on about you give clients options, don't you? You might have the budget option in inverted commas. We've both worked for Nationals, and that was a budget sale, for example. What you're offering now, though, is two options, and then you're not buying on price, you're buying on the quality and the value you're bringing. And as I say, the sale then is not only bits and pieces, material things, it's about people, which is the most important thing. So it's been very interesting to talk to you, and as I say, we'll make you a champion of Optex, because it's exactly what we're selling. Is a quality product for quality customers who have got a bigger imagination of what they want for their security for home and business. And I think that's where we come back to the visual verification, because what we're selling is something that detects and has a response. That's what security is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So again, as far as we'll go back to the visual verification, people want things on their phone now, don't they? They want it all in one place. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, from the birth of the app kind of sale and the application that customers can monitor their own alarm system, that's taken out a huge element. Where what I found is we offer monitored security systems, right? And a lot of our customers, I'd say probably the larger percentage, that choose to self-monitor. The option they do, yeah, and the option is always available to them. But and we do have, like I said, monitored systems out there. But we're also meeting a lot of customers, mid to high end, that are happy to self-monitor. Sometimes it's not always viable because the insurance requirements and stuff like that need to be police monitored, which is a great method of protection. But with the visual verification system and it being a standalone product, even if the customer has an alarm and you turn up and you're doing the CCTV and they're happy with their alarm company, you can still offer them external detection as a standalone product with visual verification, that they can see physically what's out there, and have that added peace of mind again.
And we were talking earlier on about a client, and you said they had an outbuilding, for example, and you had a cable running out to it, and just little questions like that, which I thought were interesting. So what I love about some of the products that you do, which I didn't know before I got here today, is that
say for example you have a home and then you have a pool house or a garage that's kind of somewhat away from the house, and there's no alarm provision in there, or there's no capabilities of getting wireless, it might be too far out, but there's also this network application that we can offer in as such that if there's no alarm provision and there's a data cable there, either Cat5 or Cat6, that you can use some of your hardware to incorporate that to create an alarm which can be integrated into the home's alarm system, and you can add almost like a network switch. You can add devices on back into the system, which I thought was pretty cool. And it allows a lot of retrofit solutions, so you don't have to rule it out because you can't get provisions there, because there might be another way of doing that. Now if you're talking about PoE, there's also PoE wireless range extenders that you can create a network, over a distance, and then therefore bring the alarm back to the panel and do things like that. So
that's great value, doesn't it?
Yeah,
great value. What was the other situation you were talking about just off camera there? You're talking, sorry.
Yeah, well, I was just saying, over the years we've done a few jobs for our customers, and they have a good budget and have spent quite a sizable amount on their home. And I've also been in incidents where we've competed with large security companies, well-known companies, and I've just begged the question to the customer, why did you choose to go with us? Because we're not the biggest firm, but simply the response has been because we can see the level of care that you put into wanting to protect the home. And I think that when you think about outside, about just putting your kind of bog standard alarm system in there, and you're actually putting yourself, I always say to my customers, I look at you or your house as if it was my own, and how would I want to protect that in terms of lighting, external detection and cameras and stuff like that. And I think once you show that genuine level of care about protecting people's property that they've worked so hard to obtain, and then also their families and items that they've acquired, I think that rings through. So just because you're not the biggest company in the world doesn't mean that you're not going to win those big contracts or those big jobs. It's just about connecting with the customer and showing them that you really care about making their home safe, offering them options as opposed to bog standard installs. So you're just a conveyor belt of doing an alarm install or a CCTV install and so on and so forth, but actually put yourself in their shoes, care about their property, look after their home, and I think that will ring through, and that's been the general feedback. So I feel quite privileged to have got that feedback.
John, it's been trying to get together for a long time, haven't we? Christmas and all sorts of things have got in the way, but meeting you today, that's rang true. Your passion and your care for your clients, and I think that's fantastic, because a lot of people just go for the cold hard sale these days, and that's not what you do. Let's put yourself in their shoes, and that's really come across strong today, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Good stuff. It's been a pleasure being here. Enjoyed it thoroughly.
Genuine, and we've got a long future together. We'll help each other out, and it's about getting out there and educating people. That's what it's all about.
That's it.
And so it's been an absolute pleasure, and I thank you for your time today.
Thanks for having us.
Good man.